Fargo City commissioners are now being asked to consider ending a wildlife management program that allows bow hunters to kill deer within city limits. Police Chief Dave Zabolski says a recent study shows that harvest rates are low and the plan is no longer effective and that it's created a public safety threat. He will ask the commission at tonight's meeting to eliminate the program.
The hunt started more than 15 years ago in several city parks along the Red River after complaints over the growing number of deer in the city. The police chief says that the hunt is time-consuming for the officers who manage it. A 9-year-old boy who suffered brain trauma after being trampled at the Astro World Festival in Houston last week has died, bringing the death toll now to 10. Lawyers for his family say Ezra Blount was in a medically induced coma in an attempt to save his life after he suffered brain, kidney, and liver trauma as a result of what some witnesses described as a crush of music fans at that November 5th event.
Ezra was on the shoulders of his father when the crowd started to crush together and his dad then passed out. That caused his son to fall to the ground. A longtime ally of former President Donald Trump is expected to turn himself in today for an arraignment.
Steve Bannon was indicted Friday on 2 counts of contempt of Congress. Bannon refused to comply with a House panel subpoena calling for him to testify and hand over documents in its investigation of the January 6th Capitol assault.
It is now 6:51 here on this Monday morning. Some folks waking up to a bit more snow coming down, Lisa.
Yeah, we're looking at conditions that are off and on for a lot of places. Some places seeing those snow showers ramp up, others where it's dwindling a bit. But one area I'm watching closely is up by Thief River Falls, the New Fulton area, getting ready to cross over Highway 59. A more substantial area of snow there in places like Pennington and Red Lake and northwestern Polk counties, stretching up into Marshall County. So that's dropping east, southeastward. There's another line just south of Grand Forks in Grand Forks County, and then moving down into the Monoman, or rather the Norman County areas, and even all the way down to Detroit Lakes, where we have had some off and on areas of snow that's been a little more substantial. And in Fargo, a little break. We did have some light snow overnight, so be ready to have to do some brushing off your windshield here this morning, maybe a little shoveling, hopefully not scraping on your windshield, but you could see some pink here in this little line that's moving eastward toward FM, and that's where we're looking at some potential for some mix going on, maybe a little bit of light freezing drizzle. Warmer air is moving in with this warm front that's pushing through. And so in that transition zone where we have precipitation, we've got to watch out for some of those areas, especially because temperatures are below freezing right now. Here's a look outside. Be careful as you're hitting the road. We've got a school bus going by there. And you're going to want to watch out even at the bus stop, because there are still icy sidewalks, icy roads leading up to the sidewalks as well, in addition to what you're going to encounter as you hit the highway this morning in spots. So again, we're looking at icy conditions and then snow on top of that in areas. Fargo's at 27 degrees. Little light snow still being reported at the airport in Grand Forks. We're at 26. Thief River Falls is a little cooler at 23 degrees, and so is Bemidji at 23. Over in Fergus Falls, 27, and some snow still falling in Devil's Lake at 28 right now, so well below freezing at the moment. And where we do have snow, that's going to bring down your visibility. So in DL, we're looking at 3 miles visibility there where we've had some snow. Cooperstown is at 2.5. There may be some fog mixed in there too. And then back over to Devil's Lake at 3 miles as well. Langdon down to 6. So not just slick, but a little bit lower visibility here as you are going to be driving along. So this morning, not necessarily everybody getting hit by the snow, but there is still some spotty snow out there that we'll be contending with. And even if you're not getting the snow, there are still lots of slick places to watch out for that morning drive. And then this afternoon, the snow starts to ease up for most areas. We may still have it over into northwest Minnesota, but most places just looking more cloudy. And notice those temperatures back into some above freezing numbers, mid-30s coming up for the afternoon hours today. And as we take a look at our 7-day planner, we'll warm up even on Tuesday with a stronger breeze as well. Wednesday cooling back down behind this with a chance for some light snow, but no big storm systems during the week this week. And temperatures will just be up and down. So we're looking at days above freezing, below freezing. That means refreeze happening at times, and then other times we've got slush and road spray that you're trying to get through on the roads. Just kind of a messy transition time right now here in the valley.
A tricky drive this morning, that's for sure. Yes. Lisa, thank you.
As gas prices surge nationwide, some are calling on President Joe Biden to make use of the nation's strategic petroleum reserve. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says tapping the reserve is the only way to offer immediate relief to drivers in the U.S.
White House officials say the president is considering the idea, but they did not indicate when a decision might be coming. Meanwhile, talk about pain at the pump. California just set a new record for high gas prices. AAA says the average price of unleaded in California now about $4.67 a gallon. That is quite a bit more than the national average, which currently sits at $3.41 a gallon.
In the San Francisco Bay Area, Gas Buddy says the average cost is $4.84 a gallon. AAA says price hikes are due to a supply crunch caused by heavy rainstorms that are putting a pinch on production. But that should change once Northern California refineries get back up to full capacity. Inflation is causing some prices in the U.S. to soar, and it's impacting small business owners who have to adapt to survive. The rate of inflation has climbed to 6.2% as of the last month.
Compare that to February when it was 1.7%. The owner of Matt's Mess, a Fargo craft business, says the increase in prices is catching him off guard.
It was a surprise when it went up so fast. I've had to change some of my prices just to be able to survive.
Now, his advice to small business owners is that your work is worth it and not to underprice yourself. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says inflation will get under control once the pandemic is under control. During an interview on Face the Nation, Yellen said that the pandemic has thrown supply chains and labor markets into chaos.
The former Fed chair expects the economy will return to normal when more people are willing to eat out, travel, and shop in stores. An Ada, Minnesota woman is recovering after a hit-and-run crash in Otter Tail County. The Minnesota State Patrol says 25-year-old Bailey Shivers was partially stopped in a lane on I-94 near Dalton around 6:30 last night.
She was checking on a car that had gone off the road when her car was hit by another vehicle. Troopers say it was believed to be a white pickup. Shiver is expected to recover from those injuries. Around 250 Afghan refugees are expected to arrive in Minnesota in the next 3 weeks. The International Institute of Minnesota says the number arriving now is because Afghans who arrived at U.S. military bases in early September have since completed health and security clearances.
The institute has already resettled 250 Afghans, and now they are tasked with resettling that same number in a much shorter time frame. That's less than 1 month. School bus drivers and dispatchers in Minnesota's largest school district have voted unanimously to go on strike if they can't get what they want through mediation. About 100 Minneapolis public school bus employees represented by Teamsters Local 320 say they are not paid enough, and they're worried about safety and retention because of a shortage of drivers.
School officials say they are committed to reaching an agreement through mediation and will make sure that bus service for students is not interrupted. The CDC is reporting that more than 1 million children under the age of 12 have received their first dose of vaccine. It's been 2 weeks since the FDA authorized the coronavirus vaccine for children ages 5 to 11 years old.
Currently, 195 million Americans have been fully vaccinated. That's about 59% of the population. About 15% of all fully vaccinated people have already received an additional dose or a booster.
Doctors say they're starting to see health effects caused by the pandemic, and bad blood pressure is a big one. They say patients are showing up sicker due to out-of-control blood pressure and other pandemic-related lapses in health care. A new study finds that more patients found it hard to control their blood pressure during the pandemic.
Just over 53% of Americans controlled their blood pressure last year, compared to just over 60% in 2019. Some patients avoided the doctor's office during the pandemic, while others were not able to get care because their physician's offices were temporarily closed. Uncontrolled blood pressure can lead to high risk of heart attack, stroke, and other diseases, including kidney disease. For the first time since the coronavirus shutdown in March of 2020, Carnival Cruise Line is back on in Tampa, Florida. Last year, the Centers for Disease Control issued a no-sail order because of the pandemic.
But now Carnival is launching its first cruise from Port Tampa Bay. The cruise ship Pride is set for a week-long cruise along the Western Caribbean. The executive VP of Port Tampa Bay says he's thrilled to have cruising back in Tampa because it makes a huge impact on the economy.
Let's get the answer now to that question of the morning on Facebook. Here's today's question. About 5% of people do this with their pet every week.
The answer, you bathe with them. Hopefully it's just shower with them and they're not just
That'd be a full
It's a
tub.
difference. It's a,
Just a little bit.
Very
Got to keep
different.
them nice and clean, I suppose. Remember, you can play along every single day. Head to the Valley News Live Facebook page.
The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but remember, the Valley Today rolls on. More live out-to-minute news and weather right now on the Fargo CW.